Welcome to our continuing series, Questions and Answers for a World in Crisis. Today's subject is Goodwill from the Mother. Substitute the spirit of rivalry and competition by the goodwill of collaboration and mutual understanding. It is when things are going wrong that it is the best opportunity to show one's goodwill and spirit of true collaboration. One should keep goodwill and love constantly in his heart and let them pour out upon all with tranquility and with equanimity. This was a notice Mother gave. The whole of India is in acute food difficulty. All food grains are rationed. I appeal to the goodwill of each one not to ask more than what is strictly indispensable. November 1965. Let the inmates of the ashram show their goodwill and collaboration in never eating more than they can digest and never asking for more than they can eat. November 1965. Goodwill means wanting to do good always. The only true good is the will of the Supreme Lord. Do you know what the Lord's will is, always, at every moment, and in all circumstances? No. So you are ignorant of what good is, therefore ignorant goodwill. It is true that man is essentially divine. But at present, apart from a few very rare exceptions, man is quite unconscious of the divine. I have already written to you that our gratitude should go to the divine, and that, as for men, what is required is an attitude of goodwill, understanding, and mutual help. There is always a solution, but on one condition: not in order to find the solution, but to implement it. Individuals and nations must have goodwill. If they have no goodwill, if they know perfectly well that they are in the wrong but don't care, if they insist on their own interests, even when they are absolutely wrong, then there is nothing to be done. You can only leave people to their fighting and mutual destruction. But if, on the contrary, there is mutual goodwill, there is always a good solution. Each man has his solution, and that is the great difficulty. To be in the truth, each one has his solution. And yet we must find a way for all these solutions to work together. Mother's silence. So the framework must be vast, very flexible, and there must be a great goodwill from everyone. That is the first condition, the first individual condition, goodwill. To be flexible enough to do the best thing to be done at each moment. In the book, Flowers and Their Messages, as revealed by the Mother, she gives the significance of the lovely jacaranda flower, attempt at vital goodwill, and writes, "An attempt is a small thing, but it can be a promise for the future." In fact, there are many flowers that Mother has named, and in her comments, she often mentions goodwill. Please refer to our website, motherandshriaurobindo.in, for all the flowers named by Mother. And next, Sri Aurobindo on goodwill. It is meant that you should have the relation of sadhaks with each other, one of goodwill and friendly feeling, but not any special relation of a vital character. If there is anyone you cannot meet without such a vital relation coming up, then only it is not advisable to meet him or her. All attachment is a hindrance to sadhana. Goodwill you should have for all, psychic kindness for all, but no vital attachment. The inequality of feelings towards others, liking and disliking, is ingrained in the nature of the human vital. This is because some harmonize with one's own vital temperament, others do not. Also, there is the vital ego, which gets displeased when it is hurt, or when things do not go, or people do not act according to its preferences, or its idea of what they should do. In the self above, there is a spiritual calm and equality, a goodwill to all, or at a certain stage, a quiet indifference to all except the divine. In the psychic, there is an equal kindness or love to all fundamentally. But there may be special relations with one. But the vital is always unequal and full of likes and dislikes. By the sadhana, the vital must be quieted down. It must receive from the self above its quiet goodwill and equality to all things, and from the psychic its general kindness or love. This will come, but it may take time to come. For the rest, what you should do is keep your right attitude towards the others, and not allow yourself to be upset, irritated, or displeased by anything they may say or do. In other words, keep the samatha and universal goodwill proper to a sadhak of yoga. If you do that, and still others get upset or displeased, you must not mind, as you will not be responsible for their wrong reaction. Let this be your main will, to grow yourself within, and let the clearer and deeper consciousness come, and have a good will for the same change to come in others, so that charity and harmony may come in the place of friction and misunderstanding. Harmony, goodwill, forbearance, equanimity are necessary ideals in the relation of sadhak with sadhak. I would ask you not to let resentment or anything else rise or dictate your conduct. Put these things aside and see that peace within and the seeking of the divine are the one thing important. These clashes being only spurts of the ego. Turn yourself in the one direction. But for the rest, keep a quiet goodwill to all. As for your question, it is a sentimental part of the vital nature that quarrels with people and refuses to speak to them. And it is the same part in a reaction against that mood that wants to speak and get the relation. So long as there is either of these movements, the other also is possible. It is only when you get rid of this sentimentalism and turn all your purified feelings towards the divine that these fluctuations disappear and a calm goodwill to all takes their place. There are two attitudes that a sadhak can have. Either a quiet equality to all, regardless of their friendliness or hostility, or a general goodwill. By the sympathy, you get into contact and receive what is in the other. Or also, you may give or let go, or have drawn from you part of your force, which goes to the other. It is the vital sympathy which has this effect. A calm, spiritual, or psychic goodwill does not bring these reactions. And this concludes the subject, goodwill. Namaste.